I'm Haylei, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be recreating one of my watercolor ocean scenes. So let's get started. Alright, well, my materials today are some watercolor paper, that's pretty much a necessity. I got some watercolor paints, I just have them around my house. Not sure of the brand though. In my little pink poop cup, I got some pencils, brushes, and a pen. I also have some acrylic white paint. We use that for some star splashes and whatnot. Some painter's tape. I have green knockoff brand of the blue kind, I guess. I don't know. And of course, some water. Well, first things first, you're gonna have to tape down your watercolor paper to help keep it from wrinkling, and it makes a nice white border around your painting, makes it look finished. So now that the paper is taped down and ready to go, we need to put another strip of tape down in the middle for the horizon where the water meets the sky. So, I mean, you can put it wherever you want on the paper. I was wanting to have more things in the background of this painting, like maybe some bigger stars or planets. So I wanted to give more space for the sky on this one than my previous one. But you guys, you put it wherever you want. Alright, now I'm getting my HB pencil. I mean, use whatever pencil you got, but the lighter the better so it doesn't show up under your watercolor. Also, I think it's called a compass to draw some perfect circles. I decided to put plants in the background. You don't have to, but you do you, boo. You do what you want. I'm gonna put some circles in now before we start painting. Alright, now that my circles are drawn, I'm going to wet the sky, just the sky, and not the inside of the circles. Just wet the paper to get it ready for color. I just noticed that there was some color left on my brush, so I'm just cleaning it off real quick. So I'm getting a paper towel now, and it reminds me that for you guys, when you're using watercolor, I know it helps me a lot when I have a paper towel on hand if there's too much water or if I need to clean off my brush or whatnot. The paper towel is a lifesaver. Alright, now that our paper is wet, I'm just going to take a paper towel and clean out the inside of my circles real quick. Alright, let's get started with the color. I wasn't sure what color I wanted to do. I didn't want to go with the purple scheme I did last time. I wanted to change it up. So I'm thinking green. Why? I don't know. I'm just feeling green today. Alright, so first we need to start with our lightest color. Since I'm going with a green color scheme here with my picture, I decided to start with yellow. So I don't have that light of a green, so I'm just going with yellow. So you want to start off just randomly placing it. Just randomly placing it. I do want the middle bottom of your sky to be the lightest area, because we're gonna put our ship there, so we want to make that the focal point. Also, when you're spreading your color around, you can take some clean, clear water and drip it on there to disperse the color around more. I use a lot of water in this when I do this to move my color around, because I think it gives this kind of like a smoky cloud feel to it. I mean, you can use as much or as little water as you want, but I end up soaking the page, really, to be honest. That's probably why I always want paper towels. But as you can see, I'm putting my lightest color, yellow, mainly in the front center of my page, of my sky. And I'm not going in the circles, or trying not. I mean, if you get a little bit in, it's not that big of a deal. Now, I'm just going back in with that same color and just putting some more pigment in places, so my lightest color still has darker areas to it and lighter areas to it, just to give it more dimension and just more shades of color, really. I mean, you don't have to, like I said, I mean, you can do this 100 ways. If you use a lot of water, like I do when doing this technique, you're going to see pools of water and pigment. You're going to want to use a paper towel to sop that up, because otherwise it's just going to keep building water and pigment until it floods and creates a big mess and a disaster. And no one wants a disaster. Well, I don't know. Maybe some of you do. In which case, I guess don't use the paper towel. So I'm cleaning my brush now, getting ready for the next shade darker. I'm gonna go with this more pigmented, like mustardy looking yellow to add to my color scheme. I thought it would look nice. So again, just like the lighter color, you're just gonna dab it around wherever it feels right to you. Doesn't matter where really. But again, we want our ship to be the focal point. So that bottom middle of the sky, you want to keep that light. So we're going to work out from light to dark from that center point. So make sure not to put too much close to that center point. So here I have some water and pigment running into one of my circles. It's not that big of a deal if you have color running in your circles, but it would make it easier on you if you kept the circles white. Alrighty then. On to the next color. So we're going to do the next shade darker. For me, I'm going to start on my actual green color, which I'm going to use the brightest green I have on this palette. And we're just going to dab it around, just like the other color. Just dab, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. That's all you're going to do. But once again, you want to keep that bottom middle light, so we can focus and see our ship. One creative tip that paper towel I have that I'm soaking up all this water and pigment with, at the end, it's going to look so pretty. You can flatten it out and let it dry, and then you can use it for backgrounds for art pieces and multimedia pieces and all sorts of things. So I'm going on to my final color for this sky background, and it's black. See, black is a strong color, and it is great for contrast and everything, and can just really, just a little bit can go a long way. So I just want to let you know to be careful when using black. You don't want to overdo it, because you'll just end up making your art look all muddy, and it's not as good as it could be. So just be careful, take it slow.
Any ideas?
Now I'm gonna go around and just try to get rid of as much pools of water as I can, just to help cut down on the drying time. Alright, now it's time to let this dry before we go on to the next part. I'm actually gonna be using this little space heater we got, but some people have little hair dryers or little heaters for art and everything, or you can just, if you don't have one, just let it air dry. Alright, for those of us who put planets in the background, it's time for us to get our tape out again. We need to tape up our circles so we don't get white paint on it when we're splashing our acrylic paint. Alright, now that that's finally over with, you're gonna need a toothbrush. Now you're not gonna want to use this toothbrush later, so I'd recommend getting an old toothbrush or a toothbrush that you don't plan on using for your teeth. You're also gonna need your acrylic paint. I'm doing white because it sticks out in dark backgrounds. That's what most people do, but I guess you can do whatever color you feel like. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a little bit on your toothbrush. As you can see, and you're going to use your thumb to go across the bristles, and it's going to flick little dots everywhere, and it's going to look like stars. They're not that noticeable on camera, but they're very noticeable in real life. Right now we're going to need to let that dry. Let's go ahead and peel off this tape. So now I'm wetting my brush and just going in and trying to lift some of this pigment out that I got in this circle, just so it would make it a little bit easier on myself when I go to color it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start painting my planets. I'm doing the first one, a purple and pink theme. You can go ahead and choose whatever colors you would like. I don't even know why I chose these colors. I just don't want to do green because I want the planets to stick out from the background. If you want to use the same colors through your whole image, you go right ahead. It is a little bit more of a challenge to get your planets to pop though, but you can still do it. Now, just with the background, I am starting from light to dark, so I'm doing with my lightest color. And you notice I'm leaving white spots. Once you paint over the white spots, there's no getting it back. So if you want white in your image, it's best to just make sure not to put any paint where you want white. Most watercolors do come with a white, but it's usually not that great, and it usually looks kind of like an off-white. So it's best just to use the white of the paper. You might notice my camera moving around a lot. It's because my rabbits have decided to run around and go crazy. Those crazy rabbits. Now we need to let our planets dry. So now it's time to draw our ship. I got my other watercolor to use as a reference photo. Feel free to look at the picture or the image to use as a reference photo, or look up an image yourself. Either way, don't matter, both works. So you're going to use your light pencil or use a very light hand, and you're just going to sketch out the outline of the ship. Now that we have our ship sketched out, we're going to go in with a fine line pen and outline and fill it in. At this point in time, I was getting tired of taking forever with my fine liner, so I grabbed a pen that's very similar that gives out more ink, so it was faster to fill in. So I decided to take my fine liner and go around my planets. I thought they needed something to make them stick out a little bit more, and I thought a black line around them will make them stand out just a little bit better. Alright, now we're done with the top half. So we're going to have to peel off that center piece of tape, and we're actually going to have to put on another one, because we want to keep that nice crisp line. So we're going to take another piece of tape and put it right on top of our painting. Time to draw the monster in the deep. So the last time I did a octopus looking monster, and this time I want to change things. So I decided to go with a squid. I wasn't entirely sure exactly what a squid's tentacles look like. I know they have like 2 long ones and other short ones, and blah 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 blah. So I decided to whip out my phone and get a reference photo. Now you can use my images as reference photos, or you can go ahead and search your own. Just like with the sky, you're going to want to start with the lightest color once again. So I'm starting with that light yellow. Now, you're going to want to have the lightest color at the top and the darkest color at the bottom. Because just like in the ocean, the farther down you go, the less light there is. So you're going to want that to be the darkest part of this image, especially with a monster coming out, so it makes it a little bit more spooky and mysterious. Just like your planets, you're going to want to try to keep the color out of your monster tentacles, or whatever your monster is. Watercolor is all about patience and layers and layers and some more layers and even some more layers. Now you gotta let that dry. Now I'm just taking my pencil and just going back over my line just to make it easier to see.
Any ideas?
Let's paint our monster, shall we? I'm sticking to a black and gray theme for my monster to keep it spooky and mysterious. I'm using the gray with a lot of water to thin it out a bit, and I'm just going to do layer after layer of the gray where like the suction cups would be on the monster. And I'm going to do the same with the black on the rest of it. So the darkest spots of the monster are going to be the farthest down on your painting. So the deeper in the ocean, the darker it is. Remember that. So now I'm going to go in with my fine line pen and I'm going to draw some circles where I think there should be some suction cup. I'm going in now with a brush that is very pointy, that's actually kind of hard and dry, so I can use it like a dotter. And I'm taking the acrylic white paint and putting dots in the middle of the circles I just made with my pen to make it look more like a suction cup. I'm taking my fine liner once again and just doing an outline of my monster's tentacles. Now I'm going to take the black and just do another wash over the water. It's not as dark as I wanted it to be, and I wanted to cover my monster a little bit to make it a little bit more spooky. Once again, we gotta let it dry. Now just assign it and take off the tape. The reveal, here it is. There you have it. I love it. I don't know about you guys, but I love this picture just as much as the first one. Just as much as the first one. They're very similar, yet extremely different. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram for more content and updates at HH Arts and Crafts. Link to my Instagram in the description below.